Now back to that countdown. We are headed to your #1 pick for the best radio DJ in town. Now it's time to unveil the #1 radio personality as voted by you, our Metro Beat viewer. Or maybe in this case, we should say best personalities. Yes, the votes are in. And at #1, the Alice Morning Show team.
Alice 105.9, BJ, Howie, and Jennifer, 10 minutes after 9. Going to be a little bit cooler today, maybe some rain.
Yep, highs only in the mid-80s, scattered thunderstorms today. Same type of weather tomorrow with a high right around 80, so 2 nice cool days, and then we're back to the 90s by Sunday.
BJ, Howie, and Jennifer, along with producer Mikey, have been part of the Denver radio landscape as a team for nearly 2 years, with their mixture of pop culture references and personal revelations that would shock even a therapist. The team has one of the largest followings in the metro area.
It's weird to think anybody would think you're the voice of reason now.
But they do. Even
Seriously, I can see BJ and I, because we're normally the one who tries to keep you,
right,
in check. But for people who are crazy like you, they think you're the voice of reason.
But you have 3 very different people with 3 very different viewpoints on our show, and that's what makes the show work. Otherwise, it's boring.
But those 3 different viewpoints don't always see eye to eye.
What I like to do is hang out with people that are like me or a little beneath me.
So you're the best one in the group.
Absolutely. That's the way I like it. It makes me feel better. I mean, look at BJ, for instance.
Sometimes you say something that you can't, it's kind of like unringing a bell, you know what I mean? It's when you say something, it's out there and there's no way to get it back.
He and I kind of along them same lines, right?
What do you mean?
I'm portly, you know what I mean? Not exactly the most physical fit people in the world. And he and I hang out together, we work together.
Sometimes you do really get personally offended because we're brutally honest with one another.
Look at BJ's
He tries to keep me a little bit chunky, too, because it kind of makes you feel a little bit better. Is there some truth to that? Hang on a second. You're saying my habits contribute to you being
absolutely
obese?
Absolutely.
According to BJ, though, it's those conflicting personalities that set their show apart from other modern alternatives like the iPod or satellite radio.
The thing that sets us apart is we're human beings. We're non-duplicable. We are 3 people individually that create a show that no one else can duplicate.
The individual players have their own roles to play. BJ, the man who usually starts the conversation.
There's a new survey out this morning. We were talking about it just a little bit off air. Howie, you've got an interesting spin on this thing.
Howie is the one who is slightly off kilter.
You know what it reminds me of? When my wife got that stuff that she shot in her lips. Remember that? Yeah, she looked like a platypus, and her lips were all stuck out.
I remember.
That's exactly what it reminded me of when my wife had that done to her.
Stuck in the middle is the lone female of the group, Jennifer Wild.
Howie kind of pulls me one way to the dark side, and I like being on the dark side, but then I'm also a mom and very practical, and so in that way I relate to BJ too.
I don't necessarily consider Jennifer as the only woman on the show. That's all that is.
You know what? And that's no way to talk about Mikey.
And that brings us to the producer, Mikey.
Music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my God, thank you for blessing me.
As the man behind the scenes, Mikey makes sure everything flows together smoothly.
Thanks for calling. Sorry, caller 8. Thanks for calling. Alice, who's this? Terry, hi, you're calling 19.
Or as smoothly as can be expected.
But there's one thing on this show that I can't stand. The worst thing, without a doubt, about this show is BJ's footwear. He cannot seem to put anything on his feet. I'm tired of looking at his stinking toes. I would say 95% of the stuff that you hear on this show is the real deal. Regardless of how far-fetched it sounds, how ridiculous or outlandish it sounds, 95% of the stuff that you hear on this show is real stuff.
And the Alice listener loves the fact that all 4 personalities are real people.
If you really get a core of audience that loves your show, they are almost like preachers for you. They tell somebody else, oh, you've got to listen to this show.
It's very rewarding to me to know that there are people out there that this is their choice. When they wake up in the morning to start their day, this is the choice that they make for their radio station, for their radio show.
As we wrap up our countdown of your favorite radio personalities in the metro area, BJ sums up the allure of the job for everyone on the list.
When I was a young 9 years old or 10 years old, radio was magical to me. I mean, I could turn it on and I thought, wow, how do they do that? It's still magical to me. When I leave and I turn on the radio in the car, I still get that same goosebumps, I still get that. And as long as I'm doing that and we're successful at it, then why stop?
On Alice 105.9.